Hello everyone, my name is Brian, but you can call me the Bugler, and today we're finally going to be breaking down the Dawnblade's grenades and comparing the supers from both skill trees. So let's get started. First up, we have the Solar Grenade. This grenade creates a flare of solar light that continuously damages enemies trapped inside. After that, we have the Firebolt grenade. This grenade unleashes bolts of solar light at nearby enemies. And finally, we have the Fusion Grenade. This explosive grenade deals bonus damage when attached to a target. Let's take a look at the Solar Grenade first. The Solar Grenade is the highest damaging grenade that the Dawnblade has access to by a pretty wide margin against single targets. In this case, we deal 7 damage on impact, plus 345 for the initial explosion, and then 13 ticks of 173, the same tick damage as the Vortex Grenade would deal. However, in this case, we also deal 5 ticks of 42 damage. This is burn damage, and enemies that get hit by the Solar Grenade will suffer 5 ticks of burn damage, in addition to the other ticks as well. So our total comes out to 2,811 damage against the Modular Mind. This turns out to be about 200 more damage than a Vortex Grenade would deal. The next grenade on our list is the Firebolt Grenade. When you throw this grenade, a ring will mark the area in which enemies can be affected. Any enemy in that ring will be targeted by a firebolt. This deals only 621 damage to the Modular Mind. However, it can target up to 3 enemies. The final and most disappointing, in my opinion, grenade that the Dawnblade has access to is called the Fusion Grenade. This grenade deals extra damage to enemies that it's attached to. Against the Modular Mind, that means we deal 2 ticks of 345 damage, plus 7 for the initial impact, gives us a grand total of 697. The fall-off damage for this grenade is so abysmal that it's not even worth showing. And it's also worth noting that this grenade deals the same damage as the Sunbreaker's version. And now it's time for the main event. I'm talking about the super comparison. We're going to start off with the Attunement of Flame, because this is really the only skill tree that has a direct super modifier, and the modifier that we'll be speaking about mostly is called Fated for Flame. Dawnblade projectiles will seek targets as they travel, and upon impact, launch a streak of deadly flames. The test that we'll be conducting here is the same one that we perform for every super. It's the highest single target damage against the Modular Mind. So in this case, the other 2 super modifiers, Phoenix Dive and Everlasting Fire, don't much apply here. Against mobs of enemies, they can increase the damage and duration of this super dramatically, but for single targets, they're not very effective. Let's take a look at how much damage the base Dawnblade super will deal against the Modular Mind, so we have something to compare Fated for Flame to. We can manage 6 slashes during the Dawnblade super under normal circumstances, and each slash will deal 401 damage for direct impact, plus 566 on the explosion, for a grand total of 5,802 damage. Fated for Flame increases this damage by quite a bit though. After every explosion from the Dawnblade's slash, a streak of fire will form on the ground, similar to the Sunbreaker's Thermite Grenade. The Modular Mind can be hit by this streak up to 2 times in a single slash. The highest damage I could deal with one of these ticks was 185 damage. Multiply that by 2 gives us 370 possible maximum damage on those streaks. For 6 slashes each, plus 967 per 6 slashes each, gives us a grand total of 8,022 theoretical damage if everything goes according to plan. In this instance, of course, I do not manage the numbers. The only times I was able to get those 2 ticks of damage per streak was when I was right up against the Modular Mind, and that's not very pretty to look at, unfortunately. Also keep in mind that because of Everlasting Fire and Phoenix Dive, we can actually slash more than 6 times. That's very uneconomical against the Modular Mind, however, because of the way that the enemies spawn. They're too far away from each other, and it takes too much time to dive on the enemies to get my super lasting longer. In situations where there are more enemies around, you can increase the damage of this super, theoretically, to an infinite number. But unfortunately, in our standardized test, I was unable to get out more than the 6 base slashes. We're moving on to the Attunement of Sky skill tree next, and while there isn't a direct super modifier, there's still some fun to be had, specifically with the skill Icarus Dash. During the Dawnblade super, Icarus Dash is not bound by the terrestrial laws that it's usually bound to, meaning that there is no cooldown for Icarus Dash. Let's take a look at that now. Instead of the normal 10-second cooldown, we're able to sacrifice 1 second of our super energy per dash in order to dash continuously. This is a lot of fun, although when you compare it to Phoenix Dive that the Attunement of Flame skill tree has access to, it's a little lackluster. Not only does the Phoenix Dive not cost super energy, it also deals damage and can extend the duration of your super thanks to Everlasting Fire. The most amount of Icarus dashes that I've managed in one go was 15. Although 16 might be possible, I just fall a little short. It's also worth noting that if you use the Icarus Dash and get the cooldown, you're unable to Icarus Dash at the end of the super, even if the cooldown expires. So save that last Icarus Dash just in case you need to avoid something at the end of your super. And that's the end of this breakdown. Thanks for watching. I know this was a short one, but that's because everything here was fairly straightforward, and we only had one super modifier to actually test. If you have any questions about how I conducted the tests, or why I might not have included other footage, let me know in the comments so I can answer your questions for you. The next videos I'll be releasing will be the Arcstriders and Stormcallers grenade and super comparison. You can expect both of those videos this weekend, as long as I don't have issues with my health again. As per usual, I'll be going live on Twitch in about a half hour after this video goes live for a post-video Q&A session. You're welcome to join me and ask whatever questions you'd like. You can find the link to my Twitch channel in this video's description, as well as the link to our Discord. You're welcome to join and talk to like-minded individuals about things that you find interesting, about Destiny 2 or otherwise. I also make a lot of announcements for my videos, and if a video is being delayed, I let everyone on the Discord know. So once again, thanks for watching, I hope I see you next time, and good luck getting through the exclusion zone.